TechSim Gaming here, back with a live stream. It has been a while, and we are now Post-Helene, whatever you want to call it. We just had Helene pass through. Hurricane here knocked us out of power for about a week or so. And so that's been this whole fiasco, and we are now kind of getting back on track here. So please excuse the delay in posting. But we should be back on track. Hopefully got everything together. Because we did have a schedule of kind of the things we wanted to do here. And we had some things planned and things like that. So hopefully we can get those things back on track. And so today is Friday, so we're going to pick up with OMSI 2 with our first live stream back. So I'm going to kind of give you guys some updates on how the hurricane went, some details about kind of how that stuff was, kind of some of the things we went through. So yeah, this is going to be an enjoyable one. As always, anything comes across your mind, hit it in the chat. Let us know, and we'll be more than happy to discuss it. So today we are in Beijing. This is the Beijing map that is created by the creators of the game. So this is a purchase DLC here, and we are going to run Route 104 here. So we're going to get started. We got about 10 minutes until our pickup at Waluju, I believe it is, and that stop is actually right here. So we're just gonna go ahead, pull up here, pick up these first bit of passengers, and then hold tight until it is time for us to get on to our next stop. So we're gonna hit here. We're gonna let our passengers on there. What that noise is, but yeah, so the storm really wasn't talked about too much as we got into the beginning stages right before, and kind of where I live, we're in a place where we hear a lot about storms, but a lot of times nothing really happens with those storms, to be honest with you. They kind of just somehow, some way miss us, which I'm not going to complain about, because those storms can be very, very deadly and very brutal. So I'm not going to complain about the fact that a lot of times these storms come here and we get all worked up about them and then nothing happens, right? That's a good thing, right? So just like all of the other storms, the storm comes, we're like, yeah, it's nothing. And because the storm is kind of curving away from us, right, we're definitely like, you know what, this storm's not gonna really be anything, right? So long story short, we're getting up to the time of the storm, right? It's the day before, so everybody's waiting around like, okay, you know, it looks like a normal day. I mean, no rain. I mean, it looks kind of cloudy, but it's really not too much anything going on, right? So the night goes by. It's 10, 11 o'clock at night. Again, nothing. In fact, I was getting ready to get up and get on GTA because there was nothing going on, right? I'm there, sitting there, and maybe about 1 o'clock, you could start to hear the tornado sirens start to go off, right? And the tornado sirens basically means that there has been spotted funneling somewhere in the area, so you're getting that that audible signal that, hey, look, there is a tornado in the area. Get cover, or whatever the case may be, right? So that audible sound is just going off. I mean, it's going off constantly. I mean, back to back. So there's multiple audible notifications that, hey, there is a tornado in the area. So we're hearing that, so we're like, okay. And then the wind starts to pick up. So the wind's picking up, and the wind's getting pretty aggressive. So you're getting that constant wind, and then we've getting those occasional and frequent heavy gusts of wind, and it's constant. I mean, it's pounding at us. And it probably pounded on us maybe for about, I would say, right at about 4 hours. And I mean, my power probably flicked on and off maybe about 15 times in the span of that little bit of time. And then eventually it clicked off for good, right? So the power basically clicked out. This was maybe right before 5 a.m. Friday morning. So the power clicks out for good. And in terms of power, that was history, right? So obviously, by the time most people wake up Friday morning, storm had already run its course. All of those things were pretty much gone, right? We did have some normal wind that morning. The wind was still kind of blowing, maybe like 10 to 15 miles an hour, but no heavy wind, but the wind was blowing, right? So we kind of just went out to explore, to check around, to see what was going on in the city. City destroyed, right? So pretty much where I live, the storms kind of where I live, the storms can't handle where I live at can't handle storms, right? Wind especially. So many trees. So with the aggressive winds, I mean, every street you turned on, there was tree debris littered, trees falling in the streets, trees falling on the main roads, trees falling on people's houses. I mean, it was a lot. And so kind of in hindsight, basically, with the littering of trees and roads being closed because trees are literally in the road, trees on power lines, trees on houses, the majority of the city did not have power. The majority. When I say the majority, if I had to take a percentage, I would say that maybe about 80+% of the city did not have power. This included main schools, this included stores, grocery stores, no power, right? So first of all, you can't do anything because of all of the trees. So it took them a couple of days just to kind of address the issue with all of the trees littering the grounds and things like that. So that was like the first order of business, kind of like getting those trees out of the way. And obviously these aren't no play trees. These are like 100-year-old oak trees. I'm talking about big hefty trees. So obviously that took a while to kind of address, because before you can do anything, especially with the power or anything, you have to address all of the trees and the problems with the roads, right? So obviously after the power was out, after about a day or so, pretty much anything you had in your house, in your fridge or your freezer, was trashed, right? Obviously because there's no power to keep that stuff cool, so all of that stuff basically is trash at this point in time, right? And so now looking at about day 2, Now people are trying to identify places to get food. But remember the issue, there's no power, right? And so if you think about it, most homes nowadays have electric stoves. Most homes have electric hot water heaters, all of that good stuff. Well, if you don't have power, you can't cook on a stove. You can't keep anything refrigerated or cooled. And now, because if you have a hot water heater that's electric, you don't have hot water, right? And then some of the other rural parts of the city, right, that utilize well water, they didn't have water because the well pumps run by electricity, which they don't have. And so again, people are now trying to look for food, but because most of the city is out of power, that includes restaurants, stores, etc. So there's no food. And so the couple of places that are open and do have power, there's like millions of people, over exaggerating, but there's a bunch of people trying to get food at the same time. One of the places that happened to be open was like KFC. Well, KFC had a line wrapped around the building about 3 times just to get chicken. And you probably would wait like an hour plus just to get a bucket of chicken or whatever you want to get out of there. Just because it was one of the only places open, so people had no choice but to get food from there, right? So you got that first issue. Now, because everyone's out of power, everyone's now utilizing generators, everyone's kind of panicking about the storm in general. So now people are getting gas like crazy. So you go to gas stations now, and the gas stations are littered with people. Gas station lines are like on the main roads, like a mile back from the gas station, just waiting to get gas. So now you got that issue with people littering the gas stations. And now they're emptying out the gas stations from gas. So now you're running out of gas. Then in the grocery stores, once the grocery stores are finally open, all of the food, all of the cold food in all of the grocery stores are trashed because the generator stopped working because the power was out for so long at those grocery stores. So now in the grocery stores, there's no cold food, right? So you've got littered gas stations running out of gas. You have no food in the grocery stores, cold foods, that is. You've got no food places that are open, right? So this is now becoming like a whole big issue of there's literally nothing to eat, right? So next plan was, okay, well, you have no power, you have no AC, it's burning up hot, you can barely sleep because it's literally muggy hot inside of your house. So now I'm like, well, you gotta stay hydrated as much as possible. So you're like, you know what, need to get ice, put some ice in the cooler, and keep some drinks cold, right? No places have ice. Literally everyone's taking the ice. People are buying ice like crazy. So we literally went looking for over an hour for ice, couldn't find any. Ended up going to a place and getting ice from a place that had an ice machine that hadn't fully melted all of the ice inside of it quite yet. So that kind of worked in our benefit. But in terms of just going to buy it, mostly, I mean, I just happened to have a fortunate place where I could go get ice from an ice machine, an industrial ice machine that hadn't completely melted all the way at that point in time. But other than that, everybody else wouldn't be able to get ice, right? So now you've got no ice, you've got no way to get groceries, all the gas stations are flooded with people. It takes you hours just to get food if you want to get food because everyone's going to the same places for food, right? So now we're just in a whole complete state of pandemonium, right? Now we're looking at, all right, I mean, obviously you're gonna force your way into my lane. I mean, You're just gonna let people off the bus there? Oh man, I tell you. So yeah, so now we are in a state of pandemonium, trying to figure out how we are going to almost in a sense survive, right? Because you've got no resources. And so you've got all of that, right? Then coming back to the home side of things, right? My cell phone was dead, right? Completely dead for 2.5 days. No power. Trying to charge a phone was just not a priority. So phone was dead 2.5 days, no phone. So where are we at now? Let's get around to like day 4, right? Again, miserably hot. Nothing you can do about it. Literally to the point to where you're just like, you know what? Enough is enough, right? Still no power. The heat is getting worse and worse, right? The amount of resources has not increased at this point yet. Stores are still empty. Oh, let me mention the part about the power being out, right? So long story short, when power went out, right, in addition to pretty much 80% of the city being out of power, right, the main roads, street lights, street signals had no power, right? So basically there no street lights are on, right? And if you know anything about driving, if there's no street signal, it's to be treated like a 4-way stop, meaning that everyone comes to a stop, and obviously you treat it like a 4-way signal in terms of who goes and what order, right? No one's following that rule. So we've got people that are just driving through at full speed, just not even slowing down, not even taking into consideration other people that are on the road. You've got some people that'll stop and literally just will sit there and won't ever go because they're too afraid to go, because you got other idiots just like driving like fools, and not stopping to allow others to go. And so again, that became a whole state of pandemonium, in a sense that it almost seemed like a world with no laws. Like if someone was like, okay, for 24 hours there's no rules and regulations. That's exactly what it looked like. Believe it or not, in my entire time of being out during the storm, I did not see but one police officer, and they were driving with their blue lights on, which means that they were off duty. Okay, if you drive around on a regular day, you'll see plenty of police officers, right? But during the times where they were needed the most, right, when there's no street signals, when people are just out going crazy, no police, right? Which to me didn't make any sense, right? So again, just imagine a world with no rules, no laws, nothing. You just can do whatever you want to do. You want to drive as fast as you can, do it, right? There were people like leaving out of the gas stations and like literally drag racing down the main roads. There were people that were cutting across 3 and 4 lanes of traffic just for no reason, right? It was just pretty bad. It was like it was bad. So yeah, you've got that. So now power's been out for multiple days, and Georgia Power is telling people that you're not going to get power until Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere around that area. So now people are like, you know what, we need to go buy generators because we can't survive with no power for that long, right? Keep in mind where I live, it's very hot, very humid, right? So it becomes very hard to survive, well, let me say, be comfortable enough to be okay with your situation with what we deal with in terms of the heat and humidity, right? So like everybody's not going to buy generators. So you go to the store, no generators on the shelves, right? So now there's no place to buy a generator. So now you got people waiting for generators. Fortunately, Lowe's was able to get in a huge shipment of generators, but there were so many people seeking out generators. There was a line snaked through the entire Lowe's for individuals to get a generator. So literally store personnel were like overwhelmed with customers wanting to get generators, and they were literally bringing out the pallets of generators, and people were grabbing them directly off of the pallets. No point in putting them on shelves. Just roll it out on a pallet and let people get it and go on about their business. So again, people flooding in stores for the generators now, right? But again, the more people purchase generators, the more people need gas. So literally now you got people who are like overwhelmingly needing and using gas because they've got these generators and other items that they need to keep fueled up. So again, that causes a whole nother dynamic and a snowball effect. And then even as they start to gradually get people back with power, right, Georgia Power realizes that their assumptions as to what they thought, they were actually underestimated it, and the storm was a lot worse. So the estimate of Tuesday, Wednesday got pushed back to Friday, which is today. And some people are just getting power back today, right? And that storm hit us last week, Friday morning, very early Friday morning. So that's literally a week without power. But all in all, right, you look and you just kind of look at the holistic experience and you're like, man, that was a lot. And then just to double down and make matters worse, right? If you guys know anything about what's going on, the ILA, which is the International Longshoremen Association, has gone on strike. So they are now not accepting any they're not accepting any ships or anything into the ports, and they are not shipping out anything as well, which means that anything that we need, unfortunately, we can't get it at this time. But as I just mentioned, we just had a hurricane and everything was kind of flushed and wiped out, which means that we kind of need that stuff now because there's nothing in the stores. So now that adds an entire element of issues that could be potentially long-standing. But all in all, that's kind of just it. So we're now really just getting back power, and everybody's kind of finally getting back into the groove. As you go through, there are still places that have trees that are falling on main roads, tree limbs and debris littered everywhere. It does not by all means look normal, but it's going to be our normal until they can get this place completely cleaned up, right? Again, some people, Even though most people now at this time, we still have a lot of people that do not have power, but most people at this time now have power. But unfortunately, a lot of people do not have internet. All right, which is another issue. Right, we have a lot of places that do not have internet, although they have power. And as you know, we live in a world today where internet is kind of like essential, right? So again, that's a whole nother element to add in. But fortunately, I now have power and I have internet. Believe it or not, something very sad, right? There was an area that just got power back this morning. And we had a little bit of rain today, and like I said, the city doesn't handle any type of variable elements well. So it rained, and of course that area's power went back out. So they just got power back today after a week of no power. And of course a little bit of rain comes through and they lose power again. So yeah, that whole dynamic has just been interesting. People have had to go through and endure a lot. Hopefully we can completely get back on track so that we can reach normalcy again, because unfortunately there looks and seems to be more storms out there that are looming and could potentially come our direction again before we could have time to completely recover. So that was pretty much the journey of Helene. If you have any questions about it, you could definitely drop it in the chat. I'd be more than happy to discuss and talk about those things. But yeah, that's pretty much how that went. If you guys were in an area that was affected by the storm as well, hopefully all is well with you and your loved ones, and hopefully you all are moving in a positive direction to get your lives and everything like that back on track. By the way, if you were impacted, let me know in the chat, and let me know kind of what your experiences were like. So during our brief hiatus, brief 1 week hurricane hiatus, I was thinking about Tech Sim Gaming and some of the things that I wanted to do once we fully got back on track. One of the things I was looking at is streaming some GTA 5 content or GTA Online content, not necessarily the GTA RP, but just straight GTA Online gameplay. Thought that would be cool, so I'm going to be setting that up, and hopefully I can get that up and running for tomorrow. Of course, we've got our Tech Sim Gaming calendar that you can access using the link on the YouTube page at any time. And of course, now on Sundays we have Subscriber Sunday, which is where we allow subscribers to drive with us in American Truck Simulator. We also have American Truck Simulator, just regular live stream, where I live stream in convoys or just live stream solo on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays we have Euro Truck Simulator 2, and then on Fridays like today we have OMSI 2, and then Saturdays we're going to be like flex days, where I kind of just pick something that I want to play and play that, or check out any new releases or things like that. So that's what Saturdays are for. And maybe because of the GTA Online idea, we may dedicate Saturdays to GTA Online. So that just all depends. Saturdays we might have 2 live streams depending on my schedule those days, as well as Sundays. Sundays may have two live streams. So it just all depends on the weekends. Are kind of very, very laid back and flexible as compared to the weekdays. Weekdays are going to be more consistent, structured days and times, just because I want to make sure I stay on a schedule. But the weekends are going to be a little bit more flexible, and we're going to start to really get started right on those start times listed in the calendar for these live streams. So I believe that I have 9:30 as the start time, and we're going to run pretty much from like 9:30 to maybe 11:30, somewhere in that area, 11:30, and get off during that time. And of course these are Eastern Standard Times, so make sure that you are able to join at your relative time zone start times. Please let me know if those are too early or too late for you, so that we can make sure that we consider everybody's time in the future, so that everyone can be a part of the community and the live streams, because the purpose of the live stream is for you to be able to join and interact and watch while I'm actually in the flesh of driving and doing whatever it is that I am doing. So please make sure that you let me know if those times are good for you and if you are available during those times, so that we can make sure that we accommodate everyone. And so I'm definitely happy to be back. I'm happy that Tech Sim Gaming gets the opportunity to hit the road again. But like I said, this definitely gave me some time to think about my plan, think about how I want to move forward. And so this was definitely a good time Overall, very, very unfortunate all that we had to go through, and I'm sure others had to go through. But it did give me time to really divest and put some thought into what I was doing and how I wanted to do it. Again, so while we are springboarding back into our live streams, let me know in any of the comment sections, or let me know in the chat your thoughts, your opinions, your suggestions, because we're definitely going to take all of those things into consideration. This is the longest light in, I was gonna say America, but this is the longest light in Beijing. Come on, any day now. Whoa, whoa. This traffic here is ridiculous. I never seen you merge traffic in the middle of a intersection before. I think that's like one of the dumbest things you could ever do. That's asking for a wreck. First of all, how would you know to do that unless you just already happen to live there and know the rules of the road? If you're from out of town or something, you're screwed. Oh, turning lane. Well, that's good to know. You can turn on red. I would have saved a lot of time if I had known that. think I'm supposed to go this way. I don't know, but I think I'm supposed to go this way. Whoa. Is that a red light? Oh, yeah. That was the first one back. Was running a little late, just because I didn't realize I could turn right on red. Some other things, just getting used to getting back to running. So let's see what we can do here next. Let's see if we can get out of here. So that was Route 104. That's the only route on the Beijing route list. So we're not going to take the route going back. And I'm going to go in here. See if we can get in here without curving anything. That's going to be tough on this other one because of that car there. I think we might can get it. I think we got it. So yeah, that is our Beijing map there. It put us right at an hour. He's gonna walk right into the bus. Okay. Stop, little boy. You got doggone stupid. Alright. Well, you're already pancaked, so whatever. So we're just gonna drive on back to the depot here. We are not going to drive the actual route because we drove the route coming. We're just gonna drive back to the depot here. So we're just gonna take a ride and just enjoy the scenery. We ran through the Route 104, starting at Waluju. Our terminus was Beijing something. So this time we're just gonna take a ride back, and that's it. Hey, this traffic ordeal here, that's just, I don't know what's going on there. That's just a mess in itself. I'm gonna try to stay in my lane. Stay over there. Come over here. Guess I'm not in the turning lane, but hey, gotta start somewhere. Okay, it's looking like where I live at. Street signal's not working. Probably should have been more specific in the live stream title. When I say Post-Helene, Helene was a hurricane, so Post-Hurricane Helene. Shouldn't be nobody else on this bus. Who on this bus? God, I hate this light. Here we go. So as we are getting closer and near the depot, let's kind of talk about what the next couple of days is going to look like for TechSim Gaming. Right, so tomorrow we are going to be getting GTA Online hooked up. We're going to play that from PS5, and hopefully we're going to be able to get a camera set up so that you can watch me while I game. I've got a webcam, so that webcam will shoot directly towards me, and that'll give you the opportunity to see me while I am gaming. That's going to be the plan for that. Then we are going to look at other games that are on the PS5 as well. Take a look at some of those potential options. That's going to be the next step in terms of tomorrow, right? Then obviously Sunday is Subscriber Sunday. We are going to play the game with no mods, just so that it does not limit people's opportunity to play. Not everyone's privy to how to download mods and things like that, and some of you might just be getting the game for the first time just so that you can play with us. So if that's the case, we want to definitely make sure that it is available for everyone to join. So we are not going to add mods for Subscriber Sunday. Then again, turn around on Monday, we'll have another ATS live stream that will be on whatever I decide. I'll probably run my base mods that I use, my go-to staples. That'll be in there, and I'll be digging around, fishing around for some mods for Tuesday as well. So if you have any suggestions, Monday. If you have any suggestions or things like that, please let me know in the chat or the comment, and we can incorporate those mods into that video on Monday. Please let me know. I'm always looking to try different things. I'll be looking around for some mods also. That way we can incorporate those and maybe get a first look at those as well. So again, as you come across things, just let me know so that we can take a look at those and check those out. And we are getting ready to turn into the depot now. I don't know why, but this bus is like literally dragging. I don't know if it's because I don't have enough electric power. I don't know what it is. If that's the case, well, maybe it is. See there? I don't know how to use it. I'm glad we just made it back, because I really don't know how to use the electric power here. Oh well. Alright, so we're gonna turn into the depot here. Alright, so we have made it here. Again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe so that you do not miss out on future videos. You do not miss out on the giveaway that's coming soon. We are at 182 subscribers. Once we get to 250 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway. Should be doing a gift card giveaway. We've got some access codes to games that I'm going to be giving away. So make sure that you're subscribed, because it will be going out to subscribers. And that's pretty much it for today. Again, just some updates, some quick updates on Hurricane Helene, kind of some of the things we had to go through there. We'll talk more about that, more detailed wise, and some more specific things in the next one. But again, that is Tech Sim Gaming here, and we are out.